Hi friends, it is Miss H, and today we are going to practice a few more value scales. Last week we learned about smooth blending and scribble marking, and this week we are going to build on that learning. You may need to pause the video, grab your sketchbook or a piece of paper, and make your paper look like mine. Draw two rectangles with boxes for two more value scales. I would have about 5 spaces to work in. Remember, if you have a ruler, you can do that, or you can just draw a big rectangle and then lines to divide. Okay, today we are going to learn about hatching, not out of an egg, but a type of mark making, and cross hatching. You are probably wondering, what do those words mean? Well, these are types of mark making. Hatching is when you make identical lines over and over. For today's example, I'm going to make pretty vertical lines like these. Some people like to make their hatching with diagonal lines that way and the other way, and that is okay too. Please choose one way to make your hatch marks. I'm going to be creating vertical hatching. So remember, when we create our value scales, we want the first box to be very light in value, and as we move, the value will get darker and darker. Now the tricky part is that you can only use this type of line, but it is possible to use one type of line over and over and still show value. In the first box, you will spread the lines far apart. Notice I am not worrying about staying inside of the box because this is just practice. When I hop into box number 2, my lines will need to get closer together to create a slightly darker value. Watch. So in each box, the lines will get closer and closer together so that they create a darker value in each box. In the next box, I'm going to use those same types of lines, but this time the lines get closer together. And as they get closer together, they're going to create a darker value. They may even overlap, and that's okay. Okay, next box. See how I'm putting them really close together? I'm even going back and overlapping and creating more vertical lines. That creates a darker and darker value. Just remember to use the same type of line over and over again. And do you see how the lines are getting closer and closer? So in this last box, the value needs to be really dark. So I have to make a lot of vertical lines. And they have to be really close together, even overlapping in some spots. I'm also moving my hand closer to the tip of the pencil. That way I can apply more pressure, and that creates a darker value too. So I'm going to try to cover up as much of the white paper as I can. So just keep going. And there you go. Okay, wow, I can really see the difference. From a really light value, using the straight lines, that is hatching. So straight vertical hatch lines, very far apart until they're really close together, and that creates a very dark value. The next type of marking is called cross hatching. So I make diagonal lines and then I cross over and make diagonal lines in the other direction. So it's very similar to hatching. Instead, I cross my diagonal lines. So again, our scales will start with a light value and then we'll move to a very dark value. So in the first box, I'm actually going to hold my pencil way back near the eraser. This makes you hold the pencil lighter and creates a lighter value. Also, look how spread out my lines are. It's just like we did with hatching, but now we cross the other direction. So second box, lines a little closer together, a little more pressure, and then just continue. Sometimes I even go back and add a few lines if I think I need to. You really need to play until you can see how to create the value that you want. And it's okay because we're still just learning together. So you really just do need to experiment. All right, those lines are really close together. See, I'm even like overlapping, and then go the other direction, keep going. Also, I'm moving my hand closer to the tip of my pencil. That way I just can apply more pressure, which will create a darker value. And this last box, my markings are much darker. My hand is much closer to the tip of the pencil, and I'm applying a lot more pressure. So these will create a really dark value. This takes a lot of work, artist, and your hand may actually get tired. So please pause this video whenever you need to take a break. This last box takes a lot of work. Even my hand was getting tired. All right, and then as you're working, you might just want to take a little step back. And wow, okay, look, in each box, the lines are getting closer together and the value is getting darker and darker. Well done. This was hatching and cross hatching. And in the next video, I'm going to show how to do stippling. But take a break because your hand might be tired. Okay, see you in a little.